It is 30 days before our magical trip to Walt Disney World in Florida and time to register for DAS. What's DAS, Ree? I hear you ask. DAS is Walt Disney World's Disability Access Service, and in this video I'm going to be taking you through everything you need to know, from who qualifies, the options of how to register, how to make pre-selections, and how to use and maximise it in the parks. If we've not met before, hi, I'm Ree. Welcome to my channel Mummy of Four Does Disney, where I share Disney parks and Disney cruise vlogs, tips and tricks. I have 4 children. They have autism, which is why they qualify for DAS, but we're going to go into exactly who qualifies more in just a minute. And in my videos and vlogs, I really like to share all of the information that you really need to know to make sure that your family Disney trips are magical. Who qualifies for DAS? DAS is to assist guests who have difficulty tolerating extended waits in a conventional queue environment due to a disability. DAS does not provide instant access to attractions, but instead allows guests who have difficulty queuing in a conventional way to wait in a virtual queue rather than stand in the standby line. If you have a disability such as autism, which does mean that standing in queues can be really challenging, being able to take my children to have a breather, get something to eat, or use the toilets, one of the very many times we do that in the parks with kids, rather than standing in a standby line, can be really beneficial and really the only way to manage going to the Disney parks. Once you've registered for DAS, it is valid for 60 days. So there are not 1 but 2 ways you can register for DAS. You can register on site at Guest Relations, at City Hall in Magic Kingdom, the Guest Relations lobby near the main entrance of Animal Kingdom, the Guest Relations lobby near the main entrance of Hollywood Studios, the Guest Relations lobby near Spaceship Earth in Epcot. Now, probably the better way to register is the pre-arrival registration, which can be done between 2 and 30 days before your trip. Today is 30 days before we travel to Walt Disney World, hence why I'm taking you through the online registration process for DAS today. So in order to register for DAS, you need to visit the website address that I will put in the accompanying blog post to go with this video. Now, you may notice if you are trying to find this website from the UK that it is just redirecting you back to the front page of the Walt Disney World website. That's because this particular registration page is only available on the United States version of the website, not the international versions. So in order to access the web page, you're going to need to use a VPN and to put your location as in the United States. Now, I have got a link that you can use to trial the VPN that I use. I'm not working with them or anything, it's not an ad, but I think if you join up, I get a free month or something like that. Anyway, that's the one that I use and I've always used, and I find it great. It can also be used for other things like watching Netflix in different countries, that kind of random stuff. Anyway, once you've turned your VPN on, you've put yourself in America, then you can open this registration page. It is also worth noting that although I will be taking you through this whole registration process, it is prohibited to film the video call that takes place during the registration. So I will not be filming that because I don't want to get in trouble, but I will talk you through the whole process, including the exact timings of how long these things can take. I've got some tips for making sure it all goes smoothly too. So as I mentioned, there is a video call for pre-registration of DAS. Eligible guests now have the option to pre-register with a cast member via a live video chat between that 2 and 30 day before the trip window. If the person who needs to register for DAS is under the age of 18, a parent or guardian can do this for them, but they do need to be present for at least part of the video call, and they will need to have their photographs taken. And at this time, the video chats can only be offered through the language of English. There's 2 parts to the call. The first part being the video call where you register, and the second part being the text chat where you can pre-select 2 reservations per day. Now keep watching, I will explain all of that later in the video. Now let's go back to exactly how we register. So if you're outside the US, you need to place your VPN as in the United States. Then you click on the link that I will put in that blog post to go with the video. The first thing you can need to do is sign in to your My Disney Experience account. So make sure you have got all of your registration, username and password to hand before you get started. You'll need to make sure that you have got your booking associated with your My Disney Experience account. So in our case, we're staying on property in Disney, and we have tickets along with our package. Now, by the time you guys watch this in 2024, I'm currently filming back in time in 2023, but from early 2024, theme park reservations are no longer required if you have a dated ticket to Walt Disney World. So on our last trip in Florida 2022, we did have to make sure we had all of our days booked in before we could register for DAS and make our pre-selections. But luckily that little hangover from COVID has now gone. So you've got onto the website, you've signed into My Disney Experience account, now it's time to accept the terms and conditions. Make sure you give these terms and conditions a good thorough read through, then click to say you've read them and press submit. Once you've done this and you've got all of your party at home ready to join the video call when it's your turn, you can click request video call. Now this is open between the hours of 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern, so that's Florida time. Here in the UK, we are 5 hours ahead, meaning it will open for me today from 12 noon. Now at the moment, my children are currently in a birthday party that my husband has taken them to. So as soon as they are on their way back, I can join that virtual queue, because the virtual queue can take a fair amount of time. It's well worth joining that queue where you've requested the video call with a cast member on a device that you can carry around the house if you need to. I'll be using either my iPad or my laptop so I can move around freely if I'm left to queue, which can sometimes take a good few hours. Then all of this process I will be vlogging, so keep watching later in this video just to let you know how it all goes, and I'll let you know exactly how long it takes from the time I click to request a video call to actually getting on the call, how long the call takes, how long the children are required for, and then how long the advanced selections take. Which brings me on to, what are these advanced selections you keep talking about, Ree? Well, there are two ways to utilise DAS in Walt Disney World. So the first one being with your advanced selections, and the second one being in the park. Stay tuned and I'll explain the in the park in just a bit. So the advanced selections, you can choose up to 2 advanced selections, so 2 attractions to ride on any given day in the park. And those are at pre-booked times, and they are a 1 hour slot. So say for example, you get an attraction, let's say Big Thunder Mountain at 10 a.m. You and your party can show up anytime on that day between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. and ride Big Thunder Mountain without it affecting any of your other reservations in the park. And you get up to 2 of those per day. Now there are some exceptions of which attractions can be used in this pre-registration, and it is subject to availability. So when we get to that section of the registration process, I will share with you exactly which attractions are not available for pre-selection and which ones I recommend you doing, and some tips too. Now, before you do this pre-selection, you're going to need to know your Walt Disney World itinerary. You should have already booked your dining reservations 60 days before, so you should know exactly where you're eating. So for us, we've planned out which parks we're going to on which days based around our dining reservations. And if you saw my ADR day vlog, which is the Advanced Dining Reservation Day vlog, you'll know all about that. You need to have a bit of a wish list before you jump on this pre-selection chat with a cast member. A bucket list of your top priorities of attractions per park. And obviously the times of your dining reservations and any shows you want to see, so that you're not clashing when you should be having a dining reservation with a pre-booked attraction. And for this, I'm using my Magical Trip Planner. There's a full video explaining what's inside my Magical Trip Planner, both the Disneyland Paris and the generic parks versions. And you can just watch that video and take down all the notes, or you can grab your copy either digital or printed format using the links down in the description and the accompanying blog post and the QR code on screen. In the Magical Parks Planner, there is a section for putting your bucket list for attractions. So this is going to be really valuable when you get to doing your pre-selections. There is also day by day planning. So in here, we've already put which park we're visiting each day and any advanced dining reservations we've got. So we know where we're going to be, where we're eating, so that we can book our DAS reservations accordingly. So that's 2 pre-selected attractions per day, but how do you use it when you get into the parks? Once all of your party has scanned into a specific park where you'd like to book an attraction, and up to 6 people can use DAS in one party, which is really convenient because on our last trip, my eldest son came with us and we were a party of 6. So everybody has to be scanned in order to book that first attraction. And we found this out the hard way when my husband was taking my daughter to the toilets just outside Animal Kingdom and following us in, and I couldn't book us all in to the attraction on the My Disney Experience app until they'd also scanned into the parks. You can navigate to the DAS section on your My Disney Experience app, and based on the standby line wait time for the attraction you're looking at, that is the amount of time that you and your party will then have to wait in your virtual queue before showing up to ride the attraction. So if, for example, there is a 60-minute queue for an attraction, as soon as you've scanned in, you select the attraction you're after, then 60 minutes later, you and your party can ride the attraction. You choose the lead guest who's using DAS. Now, as all of my children qualify for DAS, I just alternate who's the lead guest because they like to be the one to scan in first. Now, everybody who was booked onto that attraction needs to either scan into the attraction or have the attraction cancelled off the My Disney Experience app before they can be booked onto another attraction. All members of the party do not have to ride even if they're booked on, as long as the lead DAS guest is riding the attraction. Just make sure everyone is scanned in every time you ride an attraction, otherwise you are going to end up with troubles on the app, with some people still being stuck as in the queue for the other attraction and not being able to be booked onto anything new. Now, during our Walt Disney World vlog series, I will be sharing so many tips about how to use DAS in real time in the parks. So make sure you are subscribed with bell notifications on so you do not miss any of that vlog series. Follow me over on Instagram for live updates while we're out there. And if you cannot wait till every Sunday at 8 a.m. when a new vlog is released, they will be put into my Patreon just as soon as I have finished editing each episode. And you can find all the details on how to check that out on screen and down in the description. So it's actually 12:15 now. So if my family were all home, I could be logged in and waiting in the virtual queue. But instead, I'm going to have to wait until they are nearly back to jump into that queue because I do not want to be the one that gets there with a cast member and then my family aren't here to take the pictures and I've got to log off and join the back of the queue. That does not seem sensible. So as soon as they are nearly home, I'll be joining that queue and sharing with you exactly how the process works and how long it takes. So while we're waiting for them to get back, if you are enjoying this video, please do not forget to like and subscribe. It really helps to support the channel. And let me know down in the comments, do you have a Walt Disney World trip booked? Have you been before? Have you used DAS? Is this the first time you're hearing about it? What were your experiences with it? Let's start a bit of a conversation in the comments and get to know each other, help each other out. And as always, I want to know your trip countdowns. I always love a trip countdown. For me, today, it's 30 days till we fly and it's so exciting. The time is now 3 minutes past 1 and I've just had a phone call to say that they're on their way. My husband and kids are just around the corner. So I can now press the button to request live video chat. And we have a loading screen coming up. Thanks for requesting a video chat. Please click the start button to continue. Okay, agent is typing. Are you needing DAS for Walt Disney World in Florida or Disneyland Resort, California? So I'm going to click Walt Disney World. Agent is typing. Welcome to the Disability Access Service DAS registration process. Before you make plans, ensure every member of your party has valid park admission done as well as valid theme park reservation, which we won't need for January. Be logged into My Disney Experience account on the website for the person requesting DAS registration. And then are you wanting to register or make DAS advanced planning selection? So we're going to start by registering first. Now I am going to register each of my 3 children. I've seen some videos that says if more than one person in your party qualifies for DAS, to just register the one. That wouldn't have worked for us. So last time, only 2 of my children had a diagnosis. All 4 of them have it now. Only 3 of my children are coming though. But sometimes my children want to go on different things. So Zara doesn't like certain scary rides, for example. So she likes roller coasters. She's not terribly fussed on Rise of the Resistance, whereas Will might perhaps want to go on that over and over. So maybe at some point, myself, Bella and Zara will go on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway again, and William, my husband, will want to do Resistance. And for that, I will book in one of the girls as the lead DAS party member for Mickey and Minnie, for example, and then I would book Will and my husband on for Rise of the Resistance. Do whatever works for your family. It's obviously simpler if everyone goes on everything and there's just one DAS lead member. But for us, there are certain things that Zara won't be able to go on. There are 1 or 2 attractions she's too short for. So for example, she's not tall enough for Rock and Roller Coaster and she's not tall enough for Tron. So while I book myself, William and Bella on Tron, I will book Zara and my husband on something else so that we are all going on something simultaneously and then we can meet back up. Okay, guest who is requesting the DAS must be present during the registration process and have access to a working camera and phone. Are they available and all the equipment working? Yes, they're outside. To proceed in the DAS registration process, the terms and conditions must be accepted. Have you completed this requirement? Yes. Agent is typing. Are you needing DAS within 2 to 30 days? Yes, 30 days from today. Now, obviously, I will not be able to film the video call, so I will not be filming this. I just want to kind of talk you through the process leading up to the video call. And once I do the video call and get off it, I'll explain what happens. Are you ready to proceed to DAS register cast member? Click yes or no. Yes. Thank you for contacting Walt Disney World DAS Video Register. A cast member will be with you once they're available. So the time is now stamped at 13:26. Let's find out how long it takes to be connected with a cast member. Oh, another message just popped up. Hello and thank you for contacting Walt Disney World Resort. My name is Shawanda and with the video registration team, and I'm happy to help you with your disability access service pass inquiry today. I'm currently assisting another guest, but we'll be with you as soon as we finish. Important, in order to proceed, we can only register guests with all their tickets, theme park reservations, and properly linked to everyone in their party. In the meantime, please let me know who will be needing the disability access service on your trip. If they're not physically present, please reach back out when they are, as we take a live photo of them. What is the date of your first theme park visit? What are the names of the guests who will be visiting with you? I'll be happy to review your account and continue soon. For privacy purposes, please do not include health concerns in writing as this chat is recorded. We will discuss our concerns over video chat, which is not recorded. So I've submitted all the information they've asked for, and I've just had a little message ping through at 13:35 saying, thank you for your information. I'm currently assisting another guest. Thank you for your patience. I will be with you soon. The kids are back, and kids, are you at the ready? Because I think we're next. The question is, how long is this waiting portion? Are we really next in the queue, or is it going to be a little time? So here are my little 3 Disney kids, in case you haven't met them. We got Bella, we got little Zara, also known as Zaza, or Zabra, or Zabri Babs, and all sorts. And then we've got you. We've got William, also known as Willipedia, who knows everything about Disney. So it says, I'm currently assisting another guest, not other guests. So I think, I kind of feel like we're next, guys. So just, you can just go and play in the other room, but just listen out because you've got to dash back in here as soon as it's our turn, okay?
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then for the chat bit where we're picking the attractions, I think you guys want to be involved in that, don't you?
I think so.
For the reservations, I literally just need you for the photo, and then it's the fun bit about picking our attraction. Yay! Hey, oh, thank you for your patience. I'm here now. What's the first day you're planning on going to the park? Okay. Are we all ready? Let's use our magical trip planner. Okay, so that's the first day, isn't it? It's currently 1:46. We'll let you know how long this portion takes, but I cannot film it because it's not allowed. So we'll see you on the other side. So the time is now 1:57 and the video call has just ended. We are now going to be transferred over back on the chat, the typing chat, to the planning team. And the planning team will be able to assist us with making our bookings, our 2 DAS pre-booked attractions for each day of our trip. The video call was very quick and easy. The lady who helped us out was lovely. Obviously, I did not record the call. So she already had the names of the children because I'd already typed them in the chat. She took each of their photos and then I sent them out the room. They weren't needed for anything else beyond having their photographs taken. And then she just asked me, what was your concern? So I think it might be a legal thing in America that they're not allowed to ask for private medical information or whatever. And it actually said in the chat, please don't post any private medical information. The video call was not recorded. We're not allowed to record it. They're not allowed to record it. Although they didn't ask for actual proof, they just asked me, what was your concern with queuing for each child that brought you to request DAS today? And I just said that the children, each of them have autism, and one of the difficulties with autism is struggling with queuing. Okay, so now I need to get back on. It says, go back to the previous page or log in to continue a conversation. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, the chat has disappeared. Right, so now we're supposed to be being transferred to the chat. Oh, here we go. The chat is back. Right, okay, so here's a link to make the selections with our planning team. So I'm going to click through there. So I've now gone back into the chat and it's asking me the same questions again. So are you needing DAS within 22 to 30 days? Yes. What date are you looking to start your DAS advanced selections? Okay, so for this, we are going to refer to my magical trip planner. Are you ready to proceed? Yes. Okay, a cast member will be with me once we're available. Oh, we're on with someone called Gary. Okay. Kids, do you want to come and help? Right, okay, so it says, hi Rihanna, my name is Gary with our DAS Advanced Planning team. I'm so excited to see you're planning a Walt Disney World vacation. I'd be happy to make these reservations. Okay, so we're just going to say hi. We're going to say hi. Guys, first day in Magic Kingdom, what are going to be our top pre-selections? Let's take a look at the top bucket list rides are Tron. So Tron's still on virtual queue. We're not going to be able to pre-book for that. I believe it's Tron, Space Mountain and Mine Train. We're not going to be able to select as our pre-booking reservations. I will be sending out some planning form for this chat so that we can start those advanced reservations. The form will allow us to plan up to 4 days at a time. If you need more than 4 days, I will send additional forms after we book the first 4 days. As a reminder, the guest who has the pass must ride every attraction a return time is made for. If the guest who has the pass does not choose to ride, all other guests will need to enter the standby queue. That's fine. Please take a look at the list of available DAS selections. Okay. There we go. These are the ones that we can choose from. So out of Magic Kingdom.
We can do Small World.
We could do Small World, but then we'd have to be there at that exact time. Because you want Small World to be your first attraction in the park, we'd have to know exactly what time we're going to get there. You're going to be tired, all that kind of stuff. So I figured we'd just book that one as we walk in, which is what we did last time. Okay, here's the planning form. Right, okay, so we can put in the dates here, the time, morning, afternoon, evening, and top 3 choices. Okay. We'll be able to pre-plan 7 days for your visit. If you're invited to return to the chat again, please pre-plan. So we filled out the secure planning form for the first 4 days. It did glitch a few times. I had to fill it back in, but that has been submitted. We're now going to wait to see if we get those attractions, which ones we get and which times we get. We're going to check them against the planner to make sure they do not conflict with any of our dining reservations. Children are losing the plot a little bit. You want to be involved, don't you, kids? You want to make decisions. Yeah. But they're also bored. So do you want to just go and come back and then we call you back when you're finished? That's fine. I'll call you back.
Okay, bye.
They've given me the short list.
We heard the list.
Let me see what's available. You've heard the list. You've given me your pre-selections. Are you happy? I can just do what you've asked for if you want. Do you want to do that? And I'll just tell you. Go on then. You guys go and play. Mummy will finish this. Okay, no problem, darling. They don't actually have to be here for this, but they're really keen to get involved and they're always very keen to choose things, plan their days, make lists, bucket lists, all that kind of thing. But when it comes to, actually sitting and waiting, they're not brilliant at it. Hence why we need the DAS. So, well, if we just look at these times, we've been given 3 different options for Peter Pan's flight, 3 different times for Ariel. The earliest times are 10 and 10:30 for our first day in the parks. I mean, with jet lag, we'll probably be awake, but then might be tired. I don't want to risk missing that. There's some from like 12 onwards I think would be safer for our first day. Interesting here, it says here soaring over California. Are they still doing the over California overlay? Is that right? Because it's soaring around the world, isn't it? This day we're doing half Epcot, half Hollywood Studios. So these need to be morning times that we pick for this one because we've got Hollywood Studios dining reservations in the evening. One thing it's worth noting is that as you're on with the chat, booking in your DAS individual reservations, your pre-booking reservations, they are then popping up in your My Disney Experience app. So it's worth refreshing your app and checking that they are slotting in at the times that you're agreeing, as well as putting them in your planner and your digital calendar. So the time is now nearly 10 to 3 and I have just finished up chatting with Gary on the text chat and booking all of our advanced DAS selections. So I have also checked on my Disney Experience app. They have all shown up on the app in my future plans section. Now in the future plans, I've got our dining reservations and I've got these advanced DAS reservations too. I have copied all of those into my magical trip planner so we can see at a glance on any given day exactly what we need to be doing. My next job is to copy them all into my phone calendar and yes, change it to Miami time. I will put on screen now the time it took from start to finish, from clicking to request the chat to finishing booking all our reservations, to give you some kind of idea for how long it took for me. Obviously this varies massively. Some people report waiting absolutely ages and ages, hours and hours before even speaking to a cast member. But I've got to say, I found this whole process pretty slick today. So I logged on quite early in the day, Florida time. I'd highly recommend logging on as early as possible during the day if you can. We managed to get all of the reservations that we were after. Strategically, we've decided to go for rides that were not the most top priority rides for us as our advanced booking set times, because that way if our day goes a little bit off course, then we've got flexibility over what we choose and when. So for example, the children want to do Small World as the very first ride. I didn't want to book Small World in for an exact time and then realise we were a bit tired, we were running late, we were there very early and we ended up doing something else first. So that one, for example, we're just going to book when we get into the park. Winnie the Pooh is another one they're really keen to do on the day that we're Disney bounding as Winnie the Pooh characters and going to Crystal Palace to dine with Winnie the Pooh and friends. That's not one of the ones we've pre-selected. And I've heard these reports of people having pre-selected rides or not being able to attend their slot later in the day and not being able to book that ride because they've already got it booked. If, however, your time slot for that attraction has lapsed, so for example, one of the days we've got Haunted Mansion booked at 10:30 a.m, we may not make it into the park by 10:30 a.m. if we've been out late for fireworks the night before. My children might be very tired. I have confirmed with the cast member that if that time has lapsed, then later in the day we can rebook that attraction through the app on the day. A few top tips for using DAS when you get to the park. The second you scan into the parks, book your first attraction. You need to make sure every member of your party is in the park. So make sure everyone scans in and the very first thing you do is book that first attraction. When your time comes up, shown on the app, either the pre-booked attraction or the attraction you've booked on the day, you go to the lightning lane. For the pre-booked attractions, the ones we've booked today, we've got a 1 hour slot. So if it's booked at 11, we can go at any time between 11 and 12. If we were to book it on the day and we could arrive from 11, it could be any time from 11 till park closes, but you can only have one attraction booked on the day at a time. So until we have scanned into that attraction or had it cleared off by a cast member, we can't book anything else. So you go to the lightning lane when your time comes. This person with DAS scans in with their magic band or their park ticket, and they have to be the first person to scan in. And then every member of the party needs to scan in or have that reservation removed from the app in order to be able to book on to the next attraction. There are sometimes 2 points where you need to scan in, one at the beginning of the queue and one perhaps halfway through, just to stop people queue hopping and being a little bit naughty. Once you have scanned into all of the scan points during that attraction, so that might be 1, that might be 2, get on your app and book the next attraction. So as soon as you've scanned into all of those queue points, it will show that all of your members of your party that have scanned in are available to book another attraction. And do this as soon as possible, because that way, while you are on one attraction, you are in the virtual queue for the next. Pick the attractions with a really long wait time, so something like Rise of the Resistance, for while you are having dinner. So get on an attraction, scan in, book the ones with a long queue time, then get off the attraction. That's the time to do your shopping, your toilet, your sit down meals, while you are waiting for those big standby time attractions. So we have booked multiple people in. Sometimes our party will split, and this works really, really well for us. But remember, it's always one person, the lead person for DAS, and they've got to scan in twice. So if our party was to split, for example, if Zara's not tall enough to go on Rock and Roller Coaster, I will book in either William or Bella as the lead DAS guest, and I will book the 3 of us onto Rock and Roller, and then maybe Zara, my husband, will book on to another attraction that she can go on, and then once everyone has scanned into all those rides, we can come back together and book something else. The other thing you can do is use DAS in conjunction with Lightning Lane. So if you want to choose to pay the additional fee for Lightning Lane, you can use DAS and Lightning Lane tickets to get even more done during your day. So next on my to-do list, I need to try all the outfits on the children that I have planned for all of the different days and the different restaurants, and there'll be a whole everything we're wearing to Walt Disney World, plus everything we're wearing on the Disney Wish, because as soon as we finish in Walt Disney World, we're embarking the Disney Wish. There is a full video explaining all of our trip plans if you're interested in seeing that. Then after that, there'll be the full Come Pack With Me video, which is so exciting, and then all of the vlogs. So make sure you're subscribed with bell notifications on so you don't miss any of those. Do leave me a comment down in the chat box below if you've got any questions about DAS or anything else at all, and I will answer as many as possible either in the vlogs or when I get home. I will probably put together a follow-up DAS video with very specific tips for using DAS in the park. But the vlogs will be absolutely crammed full of tips for using DAS and absolutely everything else too. So all those vlogs will be going live every Sunday at 8 AM. But if you cannot wait that long, then check out my Patreon, which is on screen now, and all those videos go up as soon as they are edited in there, super early access. So click over there, check it all out, check out another video on screen that you may enjoy, and I shall see you guys real soon. Bye.